Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Promoted Sandra. If this is the first time you are coming across this channel, hi, thank you very much for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming back. I do really appreciate your support on this channel. It is never taken for granted. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to draft and cut a Victorian corset for big bust and also for small bust as well. So I'm going to be giving you detailed on how to go about that. Don't forget to leave a comment and also like this video. Without further ado, let us dive into the video. This is the fabric I'm going to be making use of. This is actually a trouser I made for myself a few months ago. I'm just going to go ahead and convert the trouser to a Victorian corset. So if you have any trouser you're not wearing, you can convert it to anything of your choice. I hope I inspired you at the end of the day. So here is my pattern paper. I'm just going to go ahead and mark a straight line across my pattern paper, which is going to be serving as the starting guide. So I'm just going to go ahead and extend this line at the side here. So for you, do not mark any line at the side of your pattern paper. So I wanted to use this pattern paper to draft out something before. So that line you are seeing was the line I actually marked for the shoulder line. So I ended up not using it for what I wanted to use it for. That's why I'm just marking it upward. Okay, so for you, just go ahead and mark only the shoulder and leave that line. So every measurement you're going to be taking should start from the beginning of your pattern paper. I hope this is well understood. So from this line I marked at the top, I will mark my bust point, which is 10 inches, my under bust 13.5, my half length, which is 15 inches, and top length 22 inches. Okay, so go ahead and mark a straight line across this point like this. So once I was done, I will label it. This is the bust point, the under bust, the waistline, and the top length. Then I will come to this bust point. I will go up by 2 inches, okay, which is going to be serving as the chest line. And another way to also get it for you is to go ahead and divide your bust by 6. You add 1.5 inch to it, which is going to be serving as your armhole. So this is my chest line, which is also my armhole line as well. So I will come to the up here like this. I will divide my shoulder by 2, which is going to give me 7 inches. So I will mark 7 inches. So I will mark 7 inches on my chest line as well, just to make the line straight. So I will come to my shoulder. I will come down by ½ inch, which is going to be serving as a shoulder slope. So I will mark the wideness of the neckline I'm using, which is 3 inches. I will come down by 3 inches. Then I'll go ahead and connect the points together. So I'm just doing this for the sake of those who want to add the yoke to their own, not that this part is necessary. So I will mark my shoulder slope down to that ½ inch I came down with. Then I will draw the armhole like this. Then I'll place my tape on the armhole. I will divide it by 2 just to look for the midpoint. I will fold it like this into 2. I will mark the midpoint there. Then I will go in by ½ inch. I will come to this chest line. I will divide my bust by 4. So divide your bust by 4, whatever you get, mark it there. Okay, so my bust is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9. I will mark 9. So from there I will connect the armhole together. That is the point like this. Then I'll use my French cuff to connect the remaining one like this. So once I was done connecting it, I will mark my nipple to nipple measurement on my bust points like this. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. I'll mark 4 on the bust point. I'll mark it on the waistline, and I'll also mark it on the top length. So I'm going to be leaving a picture on the screen on how to take your nipple to nipple measurements. I'll go ahead and connect the points together like this. Then I will come to my chest line. I'll go up by 1 inch. I don't want my cleavage to be exposed. That's why I'm going up by, like, I don't want my upper bust to be exposed. So I'll go up by 1 inch. You can also go up by 1.5 inch. I'll mark a straight line across like this. I'll place my tape on my shoulder like this. Can you see what I'm doing? I will fold it into 2 to get the midpoint. I'll mark a point there. Then I'll mark a slant line to meet the line I marked before like this. So the next thing is I'm just going to come. I'll first of all take the chest line dart. So I will mark ½ inch inward at the center front. Then I will mark 1 inch outward at the side front. Can you see what I'm doing? So please pay attention to what I'm about to say. I'll go ahead and connect it like this. Now listen to what I'm about to explain. If you have a very small bust, let's say your bust is from 30 to 39, you can make use of this method that I just used. Like you mark ½ inch at the center front and 1 inch at the side front. But if your bust is within 39 to 49, you are going to make use of 1 inch on both sides, because you need something that is going to pack your bust very well. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So that is it for the big bust. And the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to take my dart at the under bust and also at the waistline. So I will come to the under bust here. I will mark 1 inch inward and 1 inch outward. I will come to the waistline. I will mark 1 inch outward and 1 inch inward like this. So I will just go ahead and mark it. Then I'll connect the lines together. But before I do that, I'm just going to explain for those that have big bust. Now, if your bust falls within 30 to 39, you can make use of this method: 1 inch inward, 1 inch outward, just like what I did. So if your bust falls under 39 to 49, make use of 1.5 inch on both sides, okay? And if your bust falls under 49 above, let's say 49, 50, you know, stuff like that, go ahead and make use of 2 inches on both sides. I hope you guys understand what I just said. Then I'll go ahead and connect my points like this. I'll mark a slant line like this from the bust point to the under bust like this. Then I will mark a straight line like this. I will connect the other side. So if you do not understand what I'm saying, watch out what I'm doing, you will understand. I will come to the top length. I will mark 1 inch upward like this. Then I will connect from that 1 inch to the waistline. So I'll just shade this part. This part I'm going to be cutting it off. I will come to my chest line. I will go in by 1.5 inch. I will come to my top length, that is the length, the down side. I will go in by 1.5 inch. So I'll go ahead and connect a straight line across like this. If your bust is very big, you can go in with 2 inch or 2.5 inches, okay? So at this under bust here, I will mark in ½ inch. Then I will come to the waistline. I will mark ½ inch. Do you see the side I'm marking? So I'll go ahead and mark a slant line from somewhere around the top down to that ½ inch I marked at the center front. Then I will place my ruler and mark a straight line like this. Then I'll mark a slant line. If you do not understand what I'm saying, just watch out what I'm doing. You will understand where I'm marking and the side I am marking. So I will shade it out. I'm going to be cutting this part off. So I will come to the side front, this part. I will mark 2.5 inches. I will just mark 2.5 inches like this. Then I will come to the waistline. I will mark 2.5 inches. I will mark a straight line across from the start to the armhole. So I will go in by ½ inch. I will go out by ½ inch on the waistline and also on the under bust, ½ inch. Then I will mark a straight line to connect them together like this on both sides. Then I'll mark a slant line somewhere around the up. Just see how I am placing my ruler, or just mark a slant line somewhere around the top. So there is no special measurement for that. Just mark a slant line somewhere around the top and somewhere around the down, connect it. So I will shade it out like this. The next thing is to impute my body measurement. Remember, around the armhole area here, I already divided my bust by 4 and I marked a point there. So what I'm going to be doing is to replace all the darts. So I will come to the chest area, this dart here, I will measure it. What I have there is 1.5. I will mark 1.5 inch just to replace the dart. So I will mark 1.5 inch with my pen. I'm not using marker yet, but I will still use marker. Then around the under bust and the waistline, please pay attention to what I'm about to do. I will measure the dart I have around the first part, which is ½ inch. I will go ahead and write it down so that I don't forget. This one is ½ inch. Then I will measure this one. This one is 2 inches. Then I will measure the last one. This one is 1 inch. I'll write it down. Okay, now 1 inch plus 2 inches is going to give me 3 inches, plus half inch is going to give me 3.5 inch. So my under bust divided by 4 is 8 inches. 8 plus 3.5 inches is going to give me 11.5. So I'll go ahead and mark that 11.5. NEPA just took the light, so I'm just going to go ahead and put on my ring light. I'll first of all mark the 11.5 here like this. So guys, I went ahead to draft everything only for me to discover that at the end of the day my phone was not recording. It was so painful. So I'm going to go ahead and explain this to you guys so that you understand. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I'm just going to start from where I stopped. Remember, I went ahead to mark 11.5 inch. Then that 11.5 inch was what I marked around this area here. Then I went ahead to add 1.5 inch sewing allowance. So I did the same thing for the waistline, and I also did the same thing for the hip line. So at this chest area, I came down by 1/2 inch for a sweetheart neckline. You can also decide to come down by like 1 inch or 1.5 inch. So I went ahead to draw the sweetheart neckline to meet the chest darts. Then I went ahead to draw this other side like this. I hope you are seeing what I'm doing, just like the same way I'm using my marker to draw a curve. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this part out and cut it out. I hope you guys just understand what I explained. The next thing is to go ahead and cut it out like this. So please pay attention and see how I am cutting this out. In case you want to add a yoke to your own, you can use the upper part as the yoke. So just go ahead and cut out this part. Just watch out what I'm doing. So guys, don't forget to subscribe if you are yet to subscribe, in case you want to see more of cutting and sewing tutorials. And also don't forget to like, comment, and also share with your friends. So if you have anyone that is looking for how to cut and sew, share my channel with them. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut out this center front like this. Is not needed. I already explained that at the beginning when I was drafting, right? So this is it. I will label it 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is how it look like. I have 4 pieces. So I've also gone ahead to draft out the pattern for the back part. I'm just going to explain it so that you understand. This is the neckline. I came down by 1 inch for the back neck. Then this is the shoulder slope. I will go ahead and label this so you know: chest line, bust point, under bust, waistline, and top length. So as you can see in this video, you are going to see that I did not add a zipper allowance. So if you want to add zip to your dress, go ahead and add zipper allowance, let's say 1 inch or 1.5 inch. But if you want to add loop to it, you don't need to add zipper allowance. You just need to even minus from your original measurement. Okay, I will divide my bust by 4. I will mark it there just like what I did for the front. Then I'll mark my armhole. Then I will mark my nipple to nipple measurements. I will draw a straight line across. I started my nipple to nipple measurement from the bust point, but I will see extend it. I will come to my under bust. I will go in by 1/2 inch. I will go out by 1/2 inch for the darts. I will come to the waistline. I will go in by 1/2 inch and go out by 1/2 inch. So I will extend the line like this. I will connect a straight line across. The back is very simple, just like what you did for the front. So I will remark this part again. It was not up to 1/2 inch. Then I will mark a slant line from the chest line down to the 1/2 inch I marked around the under bust and the waistline. So I also go up by 1 inch, just like what I did for the front. From the down, we'll go up by 1 inch. Then I will mark it like this. So I will mark it at like this. Then for what I'm going to be doing is I will go ahead and divide my under bust by 4. Whatever I have, I will mark it there. I will do the same thing for the waistline. Then I will do the same thing for the hip line. So this method for the back is different from the method I use for the front. Then I will measure the darts and I will replace it. What I have there is 1 inch. I will replace it on the waistline and also on the hip, on the waistline. So I will just replace all the darts. Then I'll go ahead and reconnect it like this. I will use pen because I don't want to use my marker now. I will later use my marker. So what I have in between here like this, I will fold my tape into 2. I will mark the midpoint. So the back is different from the front. I will mark the midpoints there. I will connect a straight line from that point I just marked. I will just place my ruler. Just make sure you place a ruler straight and mark a straight line. So I will come to the under bust. I will come inside like this. I will mark in 1/2 inch. I will come to the waistline. I will mark 1/2 inch. So I will go ahead and mark a straight line there. Then I'll mark a slant line. So I hope you guys are see what I'm doing. I'm currently marking it inside, like I'm not marking 1/2 inch on both sides, but just one side. So I'll mark it at like this, and I will replace the dot I just took. I will replace this last dot. Remember, we already replaced the first dot, so I'm only replacing this last dot. Then I'll go ahead and redraw my shape, my back shaping again. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So I'll go ahead and add my sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inch. I will just go ahead and mark 1.5 inch round. Then I will connect it. Almost to do voiceover is not easy. I'm already tired. So I will just go ahead and continue connecting it. Please, you guys should pay me for this, so by watching my ads. Whenever you see ads on my video, don't just run and download. Make sure you watch for like 3 minutes or 4 minutes before downloading. Watch ads. This is the only reward I get. I will go ahead. I will come down by 1/2 inch from the chest line, just like what you see me doing. I will mark a curve line, like a U line. So I don't want the back to be straight. I want it to curve. So I'll go ahead and cut it at like this. And also at the close to the share button and the like button, you will see a thank you section. Please click on that. Thank you is a new button on YouTube. Click on the thank you. You will see it. I will label it a back 1, back 2, and back 3, so that I don't end up missing it. This is how it look like. This is my first time drafting this, first time making a Victorian corset. I think somebody actually requested for it. This is how it look like. So I'm currently making use of trouser, as I told you guys at the beginning. So I want to make use of this trouser I made long time ago. So I've gone ahead to cut it, lose it, and all that. Then I'll just go ahead and pin my pattern paper on it and cut it at for both the front and the back. So guys, I'm going to be ending this video here. On my next video, I'll be showing you guys how to sew it. Please do well to subscribe if you want to see the next video, and turn on post notification for me, and also help me to recommend your friends who are fashion designers to come and learn cutting and sewing tutorial here on this channel. Okay, so guys, I hope this tutorial was really helpful. So I'll just leave it so you watch it to the end. Okay, all right, bye.